plenty of chocolate chips in there, and you're gonna be left with the closest thing to a chocolate chip cookie with this much protein in it that you will ever see. Welcome back to the Anabolic Hub, where we make anabolic deliciousness. We're back inside my kitchen today doing another take on an original recipe. Today, we're gonna be doing chocolate chip protein cookies. I've done a few iterations of this one. I think I've come up with the best set of ingredients to make it at least an 8 out of 10 or better. So let's get things rolling right away by having a look at the ingredients. Here we go. Vanilla-based casein protein powder, all-purpose flour, salt, baking powder, non-fat plain Greek yogurt, ricotta cheese part skim, vanilla extract. I can't believe it's not butter. The light one, Swerve brown sugar, sugar-free syrup, and of course, no sugar added baking chocolate chips. So here we have another one of those magical recipes where we're mixing together some dry ingredients, then we're mixing together some wet ingredients, we're combining the two for some anabolic deliciousness. So let's get things started here by mixing together the dry ingredients first. And right out of the gate, we need 99 grams of our vanilla-based casein protein powder. Whew, that's a lot. 99 grams of our casein protein powder is in. Then we need 60 grams of our all-purpose flour. We initially went a little over, but there's 60 grams on the money. Then you need a 1/4 teaspoon of your baking powder. 1 leveled off scoop, 1/4 teaspoon of the baking powder going in. And the requirement in most baking recipes, we're going to be putting in a 1/4 teaspoon of our salt. Leveled off 1/4 teaspoon of the salt. In. Man, oh man, the best part about baking recipes is that we get to sift or sieve our dry ingredients together. Yep, no sifter yet, still using a fork, mostly because I know you guys have forks, but I've said it before, sifter coming soon. All right, let's get to sifting. Don't sleep on it, just do it, get it done. Sifting. Finished. Now we're going to be moving on to the wet ingredients. The first one we're going to be putting in is 56 grams of our I can't believe it's not butter, the light one. We're going to be using our negative scale trick, and I know I didn't invent the negative scale trick, but thank you for pointing it out in the comments section. 56 grams going in. Exactly 56 grams. In. Next up, we need 40 grams of our sugar-free maple syrup. $40 grams is in. And just like we'll do after each of our wet ingredients, we're going to mix these together as we go. It's just much easier to incorporate them all that way. So we're gonna get started by mixing together I can't believe it's not butter with our maple syrup. Quick substitution, gonna use our spatula. I know the metal on metal ain't great, right? All right, let's mix it. It still clangs with the spatula too, so I don't know. You do also kind of break up that I can't believe it's not butter as you go, so that's a good thing too. It's gonna help it incorporate better with all the ingredients. Our next kind of wet ingredient is our Swerve brown sugar. I call it a wet ingredient because there is some moisture to it, and it really just mixes better with the wet ingredients than it does with the dry. So we're going to be putting in here 20 grams of our Swerve brown sugar. Minor correction, but we have 20 grams of the brown sugar in. Hey, so I'm a little lost. Can you guys smash the like button and comment down below so the algorithm can find me? Thanks. In the always challenging to pour accurately vanilla extract, we're going to be doing 5 grams of this. Whew. It is worth noting, 5 grams on the money. And we're gonna mix that in. I know I didn't mix the brown sugar, I should have done that, but the vanilla extract, not much of a difference to mix it here. Okay, we got that all incorporated there. Next up, we have a couple options. So we're going to be using a Greek yogurt and ricotta cheese combination. If you have to use all Greek yogurt, you can. You just don't get the same cookie type texture when you do that, at least not the way I found. So what I'm going to be doing is initially adding in 200 grams of our non-fat plain Greek yogurt. Okay, we got it, and because I'd use this spoon to scoop out the Greek yogurt and we want to be 100% accurate, I am going to mix in the rest of this Greek yogurt that is on the spoon using this spoon. Greek yogurt incorporated. And our last wet ingredient is going to be 60 grams of the ricotta cheese. If you don't have ricotta cheese, or if you just want to use the non-fat Greek yogurt, that's fine. Just do 260 grams instead of the 200 that we just put in. I find that these cookies come out much better if you add in a little bit of ricotta, so we're going to be doing that here. 60 grams exactly on the spoon here. We're going to mix it up. And once you have all of your wet ingredients well incorporated, should be all one uniform color, and we're ready to add in our dry ingredients in 3 separate batches. In goes batch number 1, batch number 2, and batch number 3. And once everything's incorporated well here, you should have what seems like it might be a little bit of a dryish dough, but much like Will Tennyson's apple fritter dough, it looks dry, but it's not. If you put your hands in and actually feel it, the dough is actually quite moist. So we are all set here. Now we need to fold in the chocolate chips. We're gonna measure out 30 grams of our no sugar added baking chocolate chips. $30 grams, and they go in. And once you have your chocolate chips in there, what you want to do is fold them into your dough. Alright, and you may have a few straggler chips, but that's okay. You're going to put those into the cookies when we start forming them, which is what we're going to do in our next step. Next, we're going to use our high capacity non-stick spray and spray it down. Fire away. Coat it. And any of you who have seen my previous cookie baking recipes, you know that the number 8 is my favorite. So I'm going to be making 8 of these cookies, show you how to do that. We're going to be forming them with our hands. It's just easier to put them together that way. So let's get that started. Oh, chocolate chip remnants on my hand here. And I know, I need some moisturizer. All right, let's do it. Do is you just take a little bit of the dough in the palm of your hand, and then you're going to press it down. You want them to be pretty thin, about as thick as a chocolate chip in terms of measuring height-wise. So you want them to be pretty flat. These will rise up initially, and then once we let them cool, they will come back down to your more traditional cookie type thickness. All right, so once you put one together, you should have something that looks like that, and we just lay it on our cookie sheet. We have all of our ingredients together. They're on the money. Cookies are on the sheet. We are ready to put these into the oven. We have it preheated right now at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius. We're going to bake them for about 10 to 15 minutes, checking them along the way. We're going to take them out, let them cool for 10 to 15 minutes. Then it's over to the taste test table. All right, let's put them in. Okay, so I took the cookies out of the oven and let them cool directly on the cookie sheet for 15 minutes. Took them off, and it looks like we got some chocolate chip cookies that we have to take over to the taste test table. Let's do it. All right, so we are back at the taste test table here, and I have a plate full of chocolate chip cookies in front of me. These smell delicious. Oh my goodness. I've made them before a couple times. This is by far the best recipe I was able to come up with, and I think you're all gonna love them too. But let's give it the old taste test first here. I'm gonna take the cookie that's on top, and I'll show you guys a close-up. See, we have there all those chocolate chips. Looks so good, right? I really do think that that ricotta cheese helps out a lot. If you can add that in, I would highly recommend that you do it. I do still think it will work. I just don't think you get the same texture and flavoring that you do when you use it. With no further ado, let's jump into our taste test. As we know, the first bite is the best bite, and it's going to be very hard not to eat this entire plate of cookies. But let's try it. Here we go. First bite. Oh yeah. This is what a chocolate chip cookie is supposed to taste like. It's not cakey, it's not overly moist in the middle, it's not egg whitey because we didn't put any egg whites in it. The more flour that you add in, you will get more of that traditional cookie type texture. The only problem is that it ends up throwing off the macros, and the ratios with the protein powder doesn't quite work right. The way I made it is the best combination of all-purpose flour and protein powder that seem to have the best cookie-like texture. Curious what you guys might think if you do try them. I'd be wondering what your thoughts are on that as well in terms of texture. How do they taste? Does it seem like you're biting into a real cookie? I feel like this is as close as you can get having a protein chocolate chip cookie taste like an actual chocolate chip cookie. Plenty of chocolate chips in there. It's not overly chewy, nor is it cakey. Now you do have to let them rest for a little while. Having them cool for 15 minutes is a challenge. When you first take them out of the oven, they've kind of risen up a little bit, and you're like, oh, these are gonna taste super spongy. They're gonna be like very cakey-like substance. That's why it's so important to let them cool for an extended amount of time. I think 15 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, but 15 minutes seems to be a good sweet spot where they come down to this traditional cookie type width, height. This is a winner. I think this is as close as you can get to having a real cookie that has this much protein in it for sure. No chewiness, no sponginess. I made this same batch the night before, and then the next day they were even better. So really, it's like these are almost like a fine wine. The longer you let them rest and sit, the better they actually come out. I know that can be disappointing to folks who like to have cookies right out of the oven, let them cool for about 5 minutes, and then have them nice and gooey. This isn't a gooey type of cookie. This is more of your traditionally baked cookie, more of like a soft cookie, not really a chewy cookie, not really a hard cookie that's gonna crumble. It's just the right amount of chocolate chips. Again, I would hold out maybe about 5 to 10 grams of the chocolate chips and spread them on top. I think that that actually works really well. It kind of happens by default when you're folding them in. Not all the chocolate chips get completely incorporated, so you should have enough. But either way, if you want to be safe, I would hold out some chocolate chips. Then you're insured to have a chocolate chip in every single bite that you take, and they just look prettier. Man, I will put these up against anybody's protein chocolate chip cookies out there. Taste test challenge. These are that good. You guys gotta try them. I can't emphasize it enough. The key is in the rest time. Don't rush these. If you eat them too soon, they're gonna be chewy, they're gonna be cakey. If you let them cool completely, all that moisture is gonna come out, and you're gonna be left with the closest thing to a chocolate chip cookie with this much protein in it that you will ever see. I'm gonna flash up the macros here so you guys can see exactly what's in these. Incredible macros. Can't believe the amount of protein you get in a cookie that tastes like this. It's awesome. You could easily meal prep these for the entire week. You could have 2 of these for a snack. Easy, nice grab and go, on hand. Not gonna have any of the junk food that might be tempting during the week. Well, that's a whole cookie down. I'm thinking of things to say just so I can say here and eat another cookie. I'm just kidding. If you do try these, please let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to talk about it. I know the biggest thing with cookies that comes out is that they're always either too chewy, too cakey, or spongy. I think these are none of that, and I really want to know what your opinion is on them. So if you make them, please let me know in the comment section below what you think. I'd love to know if you found anything better than this. I certainly haven't. I think the key, again, is in adding just the right amount of all-purpose flour to give that more traditional cookie texture. So if you guys try these, let me know in the comment section down below. We'll have another boisterous discussion about it, but I gotta get up out of here. I'll see you guys in the next one.